Hey guys, it's Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Mezco 1/12 Collective Big to Bad Toy Store exclusive Marvel Comics Classic Ghost Rider and Hell Cycle. This of course is brought to us by the fine folks over at Mezco Toys, if you weren't paying attention earlier, as well as Big to Bad Toy Store, which is where I get most of my action figures and or collectibles, so please, please, please hit them up for all of your needs in regards to all of that. So, with that being said, this is not a continuation of my month-long Halloween Spooktacular, since it is November 1st after all, but in a lot of Hispanic cultures, they are starting to celebrate Dia de los Muertos. And since our good friend, Mr. Johnny Blaze here, is rocking a bonehead, I think he qualifies. Maybe I should have saved that Bear in Dark from October Toys for this month as well. But either way, as you could tell, I am a self-certified Ghost Rider cuck. Not ashamed to admit that, because not only did I get the original Mezco Toys 1/12 Collective Ghost Rider, which we will be pulling out for a bit of comparison a bit later, but I also sprung and got the variant. That said, I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm a Mezco Toys cuck, though. I only have a few of their 1/12 Collective offerings in my collection and some of their older stuff, so I think I'll go that far. But as far as my favorite character of all time, Ghost Rider, goes, yes, I am pretty much taking it from behind, bent over the sink no less. So, before I say anything else to dig myself a deeper hole than I already have, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at what this version of the Mezco Toys 1/12 Collective Ghost Rider has to offer in terms of accessories that are different from the previous release. The biggest difference is this guy comes with a couple of guns. Specifically, shotguns with pumping action. As fun as that is. I will tell you, this is the gun I prefer, but this one with the shells ain't bad either. Guessing they were using from a Punisher or something. It also has pump action. He does not come with two trigger finger hands. He just comes with the one like the previous version. But I will say you will need to heat up the trigger finger hand to get those guns in there. Don't believe me? Here's my trigger finger hand from this figure specifically. And you can see just how stretched out it is from trying to get that shotgun in there. That said, I left his hands in the box because they are the same as the original version from last year. So I will leave a link in the description below to my review of that original version. It was the first video I did when I came back from my 7-month hiatus last year. Fun fact. And I go over everything in depth, more or less, in that review. I'm going to try and keep this one as short and sweet as possible. Probably fail miserably in the process, but hey, you can't blame a guy for trying, right? That said, this guy also comes with the flame effects from the previous version, but they are, I think, a brighter color than that version. He's got the little fireball, the little fire blast. I think these are a little bit more on the yellow side, whereas the other one was more on the orangish, reddish side. So that means the chain whip will also be a little bit different. I don't know why they give it to you all coiled up like that. It's kind of hard to use it, but I guess you could take a hairdryer to it and warp it to your heart's content. That said, that is all that is different in terms of those accessories. There's also the bike to talk about, but we will move that aside and look at the Ghost Rider figures first. Let me straighten out this bike, actually. There we go. So, here is the new version. Here is the old version from last year, which, yes, I still put back in its box, and I will be doing the same with this version once this review is over. One thing I'll mention, the leather on this new one feels just a tad thicker than this one, which I do kind of prefer, because it means it's going to last longer, probably. That said, I think the gloves are, in fact, the same. The boots are the same. The pants, at least as far as they're made, stitch-wise is the same. Again, this one's probably a little bit thicker. The belts are different. This one has that kind of segmented belt, whereas this one looks like an actual belt. This one has a wired collar with a zipper on the collar. This one does not. There is no functioning zipper at all on this one. I'm not sure how you get this coat off. I don't care how you get this coat off. I ain't showing you that here. But yeah, I do like the wired collar on this one, though. It helps pin it down and get it out of the way. The skulls are the same sculpt, but this one, I will mention, has a looser jaw than this other one. But the sculpt is the same. The colors are different. And there's a look at both of them from the back. This one has a much thinner collar, which I do like, but again, I do miss the wire on the other one. And the articulation, of course, is going to be the same. I'm not going to go over that here. I think this video would be long enough without me doing that. But I will tell you, I think the shoulders on this one get a little bit better range outward. Not so much forward and back, but outward seems less restrictive, and it's not pulling on anything. The legs, however, it feels like those are a little bit more hindered than the other one. Maybe not going out, but going forward, it seems like the pants bunch up a lot in his special place there. I will also tell you the alt hands, both the trigger finger and here's one of the grip hands, because he needs to hold on to the handlebars of his motorcycle, doesn't he? I did heat those up before I popped them on this figure. They're not the tightest things ever. Like, I don't feel like it's going to break, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So I just heated those up as a bit of precaution because I did not want to mess this thing up. I'll also tell you that the whole head assembly stays together a little bit better than the previous version and already has the batteries in it. However, we do not get a little compartment to put them in. I wish that was still there, but I guess I could toss them in a plastic baggie and put them in the box that way. That said, of course, he does still have his hinge jaw, and again, it is tighter. I'm curious how you take this off. I think it's Velcro. Based off how this is attached down here, I think this is Velcroed on. Very, very seamlessly, might I add. It looks good. I like this new version a lot. I think, you know, if this one was figure of the year, this one is at least going to be in my figures of the year. So getting them out of the way, let's look at the health cycle as I knock the other one over. It, of course, has the flames on the wheels. Let me just try and take those off. I will say they are a little tricky to get on, just like the first version. They do kind of snap on, while also not really snapping on. It's kind of weird trying to explain it, but you can take them off, of course. This one does have the kickstand. It does not feel like it moves on this one, like, at all. I have tried to turn this, and it is either, like, glued in place or stuck, and I'm not going to break that. The original version, the kickstand moved, and I'll show you that in a minute, but here's a better look at the flames. Again, they are a little brighter. I think that helps the lighting shine through a little bit. I did also have to heat this piece to get that front wheel in there all the way. It might be stretched out slightly, but I feel like that's the only way to get it in there. But looking at this bike, it looks really good. I love this more traditional looking bike. Like, if they are going to put this bike out in, you know, regular colors instead of this crazy orange, with this version, with the thicker leathers, I might be screwed. Because that is my ideal version of Ghost Rider. Is the more modern black leather look with a more traditional looking motorcycle. And just like the other one, you get the licensed sounds. Albeit, the speaker does not sound as good on this one as the previous version. I don't have batteries in that one to show you, but something sounds off about that speaker. So if I tilt the camera down a bit, let's bring in that other bike. Which, first and foremost, here is the kickstand on it. You can see it turns. I think this is actually a different sculpt, this kickstand. It feels the same as this other one, but it don't turn for nothing. Like, it's not going, and I'm putting quite a bit of force on that. If it turns, it's stuck on mine. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I got it. Haha. Look at that. I mean, it turns a little bit. It doesn't want to turn back for some stupid reason, but either way, mine's not stuck anymore. Yay! We're doing it live, just like Bill O'Reilly today, I guess. But propping that up, comparing it to this crazy, I don't know, Mad Max Fury Road looking thing. I mean, this one was alright, but this one looks so much better. It looks more like a freaking motorcycle. I think the only difference is the front end. The front end with the headlight and the way the handlebars are is the only difference, but boy oh boy does it make a difference. Because I actually thought this was a different bike entirely when I took it out of the box, and clearly it is not. It is the same thing as this one here. It just, I don't know, that more traditional looking motorcycle front end really makes this new one stand out. Said getting this out of the way. Take a closer look at this. You can see they did a good job with the reds. Adding some blacks in there too. Some oranges. Maybe a little bit of yellow here and there. But yes, it is the same thing. I will say this looks bent here. I'm not sure if it is. I'm not sure if that is bent or not. Let me check the other one. Because if that is bent, I might need to heat that up and straighten that out. No, it's like that on the other one too. But just like the other one, you gotta be careful with the little thin bits. They are separate. Now you got some give to them, but I wouldn't go putting a ton of force on them. You could potentially break something. And this thing cost as much as the other one, if not a little more, because of the shotguns. So, you know, take that into account before you go messing around with toys. I don't know why this thing doesn't go back hardly. Must just be the way it's assembled. Whatever. I don't care really. I kind of want it to go back since the other one does, but it doesn't really want to. Now we'll give this one credit. It's definitely tighter than the other one. Oh, hold on. There we go. We got it to go back. We got it to go back, folks. It just took a lot of force. Oh, there we go. Now it's loosened up. I guess I just needed to loosen it up. Weird. But there you go. There's your traditional looking Hell Cycle. I like that a lot more than the again, the Mad Max Fury Road looking thing. I don't know what was up with that, but readjusting the camera. Let's actually get this out of the way and bring back our classic Johnny Blaze figure. Along with our two regulars. The Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith. And the infamous K11 Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone, because for those of you not in the know, Mezco 1/12 Collective is exactly 6-inch scale. It's not 6 3/4 like Marvel Legends is. It is just that. 6 inches right on the money. That's what she said. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if you're a self-certified Ghost Rider cuck such as myself, there's no way you're not going to want this. That said, the question you should be asking yourself is, do you need this? And if you ask me, so long as you're content with the original release of the Mezco Toys 1/12 Collective Ghost Rider from last year, then no, I don't think you need this one as well. Despite the fact it comes with a couple of guns, really cool guns I might add, I don't think you'll have too much trouble tracking those down on the secondary market. However, it does boil down to personal preference. What do you prefer your Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider to look like? Do you like the more modern version with the black leathers and, we'll say, futuristic looking Hell Cycle for lack of a better term? Or do you prefer a much more classic looking Johnny Blaze with the blue leathers and a more quote-unquote traditional looking motorcycle? For me, it's a bit of a toss-up. I like the black leathers with a more traditional looking motorcycle, and that is something the fine folks over at Mezco Toys has yet to give us. So fingers crossed they don't, because I'm already $500 in the hole with Mezco Toys 1/12 Collective Ghost Riders, and I don't think I want to go any higher than that, especially since while this one does a couple of things better than the original release, it still has some, if not all of the problems from the original release as far as getting him posed to actually sit on the freaking motorcycle, which if you ask me, for a character known as Ghost Rider, that should be the top priority. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.